Chapter 4. Reunion on the Thames. Halloween, October 31st, 2025. Mortlake Amateur Rowing Club, West London, United Kingdom. Exactly 113 years and 199 days since the tragic sinking of the RMS Titanic. Finn hated these parties more than anything. What made it worse was that Ali, his boyfriend of 2 years, wasn't there with him this evening. It was cruel but not intentional on Ali's behalf, seeing as he had had to attend a work conference in Paris. Finn was happy for him and secretly liked having space to himself at home. It meant he could order pizza and relax for a few days, without the usual pressures of domestic life and a significant other. After graduating last year, he and Ali had decided to stay in London. This meant they had to find a new rowing club. Mortlake Amateur Rowing Club suited them well, it being situated just outside the Ship pub, beside the Stag Brewery. It was an ancient rowing club, once the stomping ground of local workers from the surrounding area. It was slightly more working class than their university boat club, but it had suited them both well, as they'd mostly stopped rowing at such an intense level. Finn enjoyed learning about the history of the club, too, and finding out about the lives of the rowers who had come before them. Having been founded in 1898, there was a rich and storied history. This complemented the incredibly gorgeous Victorian architecture and workmanship that Finn had come to admire over the past 9 months. While he was cynical about the whole Halloween party and hated costumes, he'd still decided to attend to make sure he was present and visible to his squad. It was a great way of catching up on news and a way of forming better relationships with his crew. Well, until the Jello shots came out, of course. For tonight's event, he had decided to dress as Doctor Who, which meant wearing an ancient but historically accurate 3-piece suit. He'd found the woolen suit in an old closet at Silverbourne Chase, his mother's country estate in Oxfordshire, and decided that the murky brown colour of it would suit the look of the early iterations of Doctor Who. He'd completed the outfit with a broken timepiece on a chain that he'd also found in the closet. It smelt musty and old, and the brown colour was unpleasant, but matched the brown woolen flat cap perfectly. A pair of wireframe glasses matched this perfectly. He'd been at the party for around an hour before deciding to have a cigarette outside. He'd taken up smoking after graduating as he had wanted to stop drinking as much. London does that to a person. One vice is replaced easily with another, both harmful in their own ways. Smoking, however, had been his way of avoiding late-night trysts, drunken threesomes, and more dramatic drunken displays that Ali usually instigated. Smoking was the lesser of two evils. The cold air went right through his bones as he stood outside, overlooking Chiswick Bridge and the rowing clubs opposite. The huge structure of the brewery stood behind him, giving an eerie feeling as the moonlight struck the river, which was flowing incredibly fast. The tide had turned around 20 minutes ago, meaning that logs, leaves, and other objects were floating downstream. This always amused Finn, especially as he considered the amount of historical junk that must be buried under the water in its depths. Boats, industrial tools, bodies, and more. Spooky, but historically poignant. It was at this second that he heard a gentle Irish accent call his name. Surprised, he turned around. "Hey, what's up?" "I can't believe it. It's you! Finnegan, it's me, Hugh." The tall, extremely muscled guy said this with a note of surprise and excitement. Finn racked his brain to try to figure out who this was. There was a distinct chance it was someone he and Ali had both slept with while drunk or furiously horny. Or both. He responded in a way that sounded as if he knew exactly who this was, and why they'd be speaking to him with enthusiasm. "Hey, yep, it's me. Just getting a quick breath of fresh air before heading inside. You row here, right?" The cute Irish guy smiled. He was wearing the most bizarre outfit. It was a very filthy boiler room outfit, complete with heavy boots and a flat cap similar to his own. He figured it must be some kind of Halloween outfit for a miner or perhaps a train engine driver. Bizarre. The guy responded, "As I live and breathe. You're looking well, Finnegan." There it was again. Finnegan. As if this guy knew who he was. "Finn is fine. Only my mother calls me Finnegan. Or Ali when he's angry. Or when he's horny," Finn thought. This amused him, causing him to smile. "And yes, I'm alive. Well, barely. This party is dreadful." Even though this guy, dressed as a miner, was cute, Finn was still cautious, as it could just be some drunk development rower trying to flirt or sleep with him. Or worse, ask for rowing advice. He hated being asked about rowing technique and training when he was socializing. Only development and novice rowers did that. "You're looking well, Finn." As Hugh said this, he leaned in for a hug. He embraced Finn with great force, almost knocking him back. Even though his costume was weird, he could still feel his body underneath. His arms were incredible, and he could even feel the top of his quads press against him as they embraced. "I missed you." Even though this freaked him out a little bit, he wasn't against the unexpected attention. Besides, the guy's accent was incredibly hot. It was soft but masculine and forceful enough to make Finn wonder whether he would be a good fuck. Inappropriate, he thought. Stop it, Finn. He was semi-hard after their embrace and was quite horny, thanks to all of the dry gin martinis he consumed thus far. "You too, you remember here?" Finn asked. Hugh was looking at Finn intensely in the face, his eyes piercing Finn's. The blue of his eyes was vivid, even in the darkness of the rowing club, in the outdoor area. Finn was caught up in all of this and assumed he knew this guy from his days at Oxford or perhaps St. Mary's University. He was around 1 inch taller than Finn and clearly worked out a great deal. "Mortlake will always be my club. As I live and breathe, even to my deathbed, it is so." Hugh smiled, firmly placing his hand on Finn's obliques. A gentle gesture that instantly got him slightly hard, stirring something inside him that he wasn't quite ready for. This guy was incredibly forward. They continued talking for around 30 minutes. Their conversations weren't exactly normal, but seeing as it was Halloween, Finn assumed that he was staying in character to match the vibe of the whole event. "Kudos to him," he remarked to himself. "At least he really cares about social events." He'd briefly mentioned something about the Titanic too, which Finn assumed was part of his whole act. He played along with it. "Honestly, Hugh, it was terrible. I missed that ship. Wish we had another like it," Finn remarked in a very aloof way to make it clear that he definitely wasn't on the Titanic, which he assumed was obvious, seeing as it was 2025. Hugh, looking happy at this brief mention of the ship, then interjected, "So you made it then? You got off the boat?" Finn went along with it as he was slightly drunk. Being from Wisconsin originally and having grown up in the UK for the past decade or so meant he could play along with this. "Absolutely. Wisconsin is such a nice place. Very rural, lots of cows. The Titanic was a shame though. Very sad about all those deaths." "The Lord have mercy on their souls. It was a terrible night for all involved. God bless their souls." Finn was utterly confused, but continued. He assumed Hugh was very, very interested in the Titanic and had perhaps watched the James Cameron movie from 1997 too many times. He didn't want to stop talking, so went along with it. "Yeah, it was sad, but some people escaped. 13% of the third class. Some people made it to their destination." "Is that so?" "The Lord works in mysterious ways indeed," Hugh responded, looking down at the floor in a pitiful way. His hands dropped from Finn's side and fell to either side of his own body into a forlorn, hopeless kind of way. Finn changed the subject quickly so as to avoid the topic entirely. Clearly, this Hugh person felt very strongly about the Titanic and was deeply emotionally invested in its passengers. Rather than being confused and walking away, as he would have done in most strange London encounters, it actually made him more endearing. This guy must be an actor, or something. A very good actor, which also explained his extremely good looks. Although Finn wasn't entirely sure where this evening was going, he was glad he met such an enthusiastic person. His politeness and way of talking had a timeless quality to them, making him feel at ease in his company.